Hey guys, it's Ann Perry. I just have to be perfectly honest to tell you that this is the very first time that I've ever gone live on YouTube. So it's a little bit daunting, so I apologize if I'm a little bit late. I did sort of announce it on Facebook. Anyway, I was struggling to get it up there and get it on there and figure all this stuff out in YouTube land. Anyway, I'm very happy to be here. And what we're going to be talking about tonight is what the heck is happening in 2020, April of this year. So April is going to be a much different energy than what March has been. Good Lord, have we been through a lot in the last 30 days or so. So made a bunch of notes I have to refer to here because there's just so much I want to tell you. So we're looking at last month, March of 2020. So first of all, we have to consider what was the universal year. Okay, so the universal year is 2020, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 equals 4. So we know that all of us are under this crazy umbrella of 4 universal energy. So what does that mean? So the 4 is all about building a foundation for ourselves, being really focused. The ability to focus is crazy under the 4 energy, right? So we have to be sure that we're building a really good solid foundation for ourselves. It's been a little bit tough, would you agree, like in the last 30 days or so? So, many, particularly astrologers, will call the number 4 the energy of struggle. And I prefer not to call it the energy of struggle. The 4 is referred to as an energy of struggle simply because our ability, we get feeling like we're trapped. And it's because we're focused on what isn't right. You know what it's like, right? You want to do something really well. You want to do something as the best that you can, but obstacles come up and limitations come up. There's all kinds of crap that comes up that stands in your way. So you tend to get a little focused on that when you want to do really well. It's not an indulgence that we can have this year because the 4 universal year says, yes, we can focus better than any other time, but we've got to focus on what we want. Is shaking us up pretty hard. And I know that many of us are struggling, but the more we focus on the struggle, the bigger the struggle is going to get, right? Because anything we give our energy, attention, and focus to is going to get larger. So we want to make sure that we're focusing on what we have accomplished rather than what we haven't. And I get it, guys. It's tough. It's not easy, but don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger, right? I'm just letting you know that this is what's happening. So this past month of March, has been a 7 universal month, okay? So we take our universal year, that's the 4, and we add it to 3 for March, comes to 7. So that means that every one of us has been asked to go into our cave. Hello? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I sure feel like I'm in my cave with this whole isolation order going on. So wherever you are in the world, you're being affected by this. This is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to any one of us. And I, for one, am kind of grateful for living through it because the evolution that I'm witnessing is just amazing, right? Scary. I get it. Lots of tragedies going on. I get it. I'm not trying to undermine that at all. But I really am mesmerized. I'm fascinated by the shifts that are going on. And so many of us are struggling, right? But so many of us are posting amazing stories. I mean, I manage a group called the Master Number 11 Portal. And the 11s are kind of a sensitive group, right? Hey, Michael, I'm a 7 too. Welcome to the party. So, I do manage this group for 11s, and 11s tend to be really sensitive people, right? But they're posting such fantastic stuff in my group. Nobody's having a pity party. They're not having a shit show, right? They're just getting in there and they're posting really good stuff to uplift people and keep it going, right? Their focus is on the positive. What are we learning from this, right? This 4 energy is all about trying to learn something, trying to find something positive that we can build a foundation on. But this past month, March, being that 7, the 7 causes us to go within. It causes us to ask ourselves, what do we want? Where do we want to go? What do we want to do? Who do we want to be with? What job do we want to have? Where do we want to live? All these questions. It's a head case here, guys. It's when we're inside our heads and we are really trying to process what it is that we're going through, right? So yeah, the isolation is tough. There's no question. I mean, especially for people who live alone. God, that's got to be tough. But it is giving us a chance to pause. We live in a society, we live on a planet that says, go, 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 go. Nobody, unless you're accomplishing something and you're going after something and you're doing something. And guess what, guys? When you're in a 7 energy, it's saying, pause, get in your timeout chair. Every one of us on the planet has been told this past month to go sit in your timeout chair. Figure it out. You know, it occurred to me that many of you are in jobs that either you've lost or maybe possibly you've been laid off of or whatever. Is it possible that maybe you weren't too happy in that job? Is it possible that maybe this is kind of a gift? Yeah. Is it possible that you're not being paid what you're worth? This is what coming into coming into April. April's going to be an 8 universal month. This is going to be way different energy than what we've been experiencing in March. March has us in our heads. When we come into the 8 energy of April, it's going to ask us to manifest things. It's going to ask us to step it up. So I always say to people who are really struggling with not making enough money, most times when you're not making enough money, it's because your self-respect or your self-worth is a little on the low side, okay? If you're not getting paid what you're worth, it's because on some level you're telling people that you're not worth any more than what you're being paid. I want you to think about that, okay? Because when you come into the month of April, that's going to be in your face. It's going to be really chewing at you. You're going to think a lot about your money, whether you have it or whether you don't, where it's coming from, how you're spending it, you know, are things tightening up for you? Are things expanding for you? Whatever it is, you're going to be thinking a lot about your money next month. Now, the 8, plug in here, that's better. It's going to be asking you to really examine how much power you have and how much power you don't have, okay? So where are you giving it away? So for example, you know, I get these people contacting me all the time saying, you know, geez, I just worked 60 hours and I mean, this is my paycheck. Look at my paycheck. Like, what's up with that? You know, I can't imagine anybody paying me that little. And I'll say, okay, but when was payday? Well, payday was on Thursday. Okay, so did you accept your paycheck? Well, yeah, I had to. Well, did you? You know, what did you teach your employer? I don't know. Well, what did you teach your employer? You accepted that paycheck. You told your employer that that's all you're worth because you accepted the paycheck and you cashed it, right? So we really have to get very clear on what we're worth. And if you're not getting paid what you're worth, it's time that you step it up and either change jobs and find somewhere else to go where they will value you. But it starts within, right? And this is what we're all going to be taking a task on next month. Are we getting our worth? Okay. Where are we giving our power away? Who are the type of people that make us go, oh, you know, and we bow down to them, sort of thing. We lose our power to them. It'll be an interesting month next month. Those of us who are in relationships that maybe are stifling in some way, controlling, maybe narcissistic type relationships, that sort of thing. There's many people out there that are in that. It's going to really cause you to look at that and go, damn it, I'm not taking this anymore, right? This is not where I want to be. And it's not the way that it is. Fascinating. Because really, thanks, Lizzie. Really what we're in is a time of timeout. You know, we're all in our timeout chairs. We're all being asked, what do we want? When was the last time you were able to kind of sit down and just kind of think about stuff without rushing here and rushing there? I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not rushing off to the grocery store anytime soon. You know, I'm not running out to meet with my neighbors. I'm not socializing. I'm not going to the city every week just to kill time like I used to on every day on Friday. Life looks very different now than what it has. And I've actually been enjoying it, to be honest. I'm staying home. I live in a great spot. I live on the water. I'm looking into nature. You talk about, you know, I mean, 8's all about abundance, as you probably know, right? So tonight I'm eating supper and it's dark out, right? And I'm hearing this rattle at my window and I'm looking out and there's a squirrel in a little feeder that's stuck to my window. And I'm like, man, now there's a squirrel that's got it figured out. I've never seen a squirrel at nighttime, never seen one in my feeder before, but that little guy knows he's out there and he's going to grab whatever he can right now, right? Because he's saving. He's thinking about in his currency, I don't know, sunflower seeds and nuts are his currency, right? So he's saving for the future and he's putting it in his jowls and he's running off. And I thought, man, even nature's got it figured out. So anyway, so sorry, I made a bunch of notes. I have to go to my notes. So the 8's going to bring us the focus around our money, but it's also helping you to see what power you have and when you're giving it away. Okay, so how many of you have been giving it away? Are you getting your worth? Have you lost your job to make room for a new one? Is it possible that you're going to look at this and go, oh my God, this is the greatest thing that ever happened to me? You know, maybe your different ways of looking at it, guys. Wherever you choose to place your energy, attention, and focus to is going to get bigger. So if you're going to look at this whole thing as a really difficult time, it's going to be a really difficult time. As you believe, so it is. It's a direct match. Okay. If you think life is tough, life's tough. If you think life is okay, life's okay, right? We always have something more than the next guy. I promise you that. If you're living on the street and you have a hat on your head, chances are you have more than the guy that sits on the other corner. Do you know what I mean? Like there's always something that we've got to be grateful for. And we need to really dig hard and find that right now, especially. So the other thing that's interesting is that this is going to be a month where we need to share what we have without the fear that we're not going to have enough. That's what dries up the train. Okay, that's what dries up the train. Where did that come from? So that's what dries up the flow. Gosh, and there's nothing going on. But I find the more I'm able to give, the more comes to me so that I can give again, right? So I feel that this is a really, really good time to not be afraid to share what you have. More will come to you the more you share. Keep that in mind. This is a big time for this month. So the more you give, the more you get, so that you can give again. Those of us who stay stuck or fearful will not have enough, and they will suffer at the hands of your mindset. Remember, as you believe, so it is, right? I found it really interesting because before I got on the call tonight, I tuned into my Soul's Journey lesson cards. This is from James Von Prague. And I resort to these cards quite a bit. If you watch me on my YouTube or on my in my Facebook group, I often resort to these cards. And I asked Spirit to guide me to a card that would be of benefit to everybody else, anybody who'd be watching this video, anybody drawn to watching this video or taking part in the live, whatever. This is the card that came up for all of us. Boom. Don't you love that? So it says, it's a card called Acceptance. It says, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Let me read it to you. It says, right now, anybody watching this video, your soul is learning acceptance. And this may force you to feel out of control in a situation or with another person in your life. Just realize that the universe has given. So my words for, I don't know if you guys choose words in January or not, but I chose 2 words this year, and one was to trust and one was to surrender. Yeah, so the universe has given you this incredible opportunity to release the need to control. Many of us are control freaks, right? So perhaps doing so will help you realize our accidents that are occurring. Refer to these conditions as moments of divine design. Maybe it's a person or a situation that you do not agree with right now. For the moment, instead of having a knee-jerk reaction based on an emotional response, stop, step back, observe, and make an attempt to understand both sides of the equation, which is an incredible gift for you to practice tolerance, grace, and patience. Realize that although you have come to accept a situation or a condition, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're condoning a behavior or that you even support it. You see it for what it is and recognize that there's something rich to learn from it. Every obstacle is a teacher. Every obstacle is a gift. All of us are being pushed hard right now, really hard. We really, really are being pushed in directions we've never been pushed in. The planet has never experienced anything as wide scale as what we're going through right now. And there's all kinds of theories out there as to why this is happening and whatnot. But at the end of the day, as it always is happening through you. And you guys get a choice on how you respond to what's happening. You can respond with fear. You can respond with anger. You can respond with frustration. You can respond with, I don't know, acceptance. We can't change this. It is what it is. We can change the way we respond to it though, right? So when you're scared, I want you guys to say, you know what, right now I'm just choosing to be scared. If you guys are feeling angry, I want you to say, right now, guys, I'm just choosing to feel angry. Okay? That's how you stand in your power. That is what you're going to need to do next month. Okay? Because next month, your power in this 8 universal month is going to be challenged severely. All right? The universe is asking you to step it up. Do not have a pity party. Do not fall victim to all of this. Shitty things happen. People are dying. People are getting sick. Maybe some of you sitting here on the channel here are going through this. I get that. And my heart goes out to you. Hey, so-and-so made me mad, or the universe is pissing me off, or, you know, I'm angry at my neighbor because of, you know, they're not social distancing or whatever. Nobody is making you angry. You're choosing to be angry. Nobody can make you feel anything unless you choose to feel it. I want you to remember that. That's so important for next month. Okay. So here's the thing. When you say, I'm choosing to be afraid, a little voice is going to kick in and go, what? You're choosing to be, okay. So let's check in with how you feel, right? So that's kind of a dumb choice. Why don't we make a different choice? And then another little voice, I promise you, it's like boom, boom. Another little voice is going to kick in and go, wait a minute. I thought it was my neighbor that was pissing me off. I thought it was Joe. I thought it was Mary. I thought it was, no, I forgot that I get to choose how I feel. Wow, isn't that empowering, right? I promise you, life will run out a lot more easily for you next month if you'll just accept the fact that you are exactly where you need to be. Everything is happening in divine timing, that you get to choose how you respond to it. If you want to be upset, and you want to be pissed off, and you want to be angry, I'm not saying don't feel any of those things. I'm just saying don't point the finger outside of yourself, because that's where you lose your power. And we've got to get through this together, collectively. Show people an example. You know, the other thing is if you get people that are pushing your buttons to try and piss you off, because that's what they've always done, as soon as you look at them and go, you know what, right now I'm just choosing to be pissed at you, they're going to look at you like, wait a minute, I thought that was my job to piss you off. Apparently that doesn't work anymore. And then they lose their power. They just fizzle out, right? There's nothing left. They got nothing, right? So we want to make sure that we are really empowered. So don't want to draw on this too much, guys, but you're in a 4 universal year. The 4 is giving you the ability to focus like crazy. What are you going to focus on? You're going to focus on what it is you want to nurture, what you want to manifest, okay? This is a really, really awesome time. It's a really great year to read a universal month that says, I've got to think about that. I got to figure out where is it that I want to go? What is it that I want? What is, now that I'm home with my family, maybe I'm taking a look at my kids a little differently. Maybe I'm looking at my wife a little differently, my husband a little differently. Maybe I'm rethinking my job. Is this really what I want to do? Maybe you're rethinking your career or the education that you're going through. That's what March has been all about. When we come into April, you're going to feel like you're coming out of your head. I promise you, when you come across the threshold into April, you're going to come out of your head more so. This is going to be a welcome relief because you're actually going to be able to put into motion something, anything. It doesn't have to be huge, but maybe if you just change your mindset to include what I just told you, choose to feel whatever you're feeling. Say it out loud. Own it. Show people that this isn't getting to you. It's working through you and you're doing the best you can with it. And you're making choices on how you. So, rework a plan. It's a really good energy to do that with. Okay. It's not a time to feel stuck. If you're feeling stuck, you got to say, I am, re-examine your own personal foundation. Look at your relationships, look at your job, look at everything around you. How can you change that up a little bit? Okay. So focus on what you are creating rather than what you are not creating. Okay. So if, let's say you've got 10 bills, crunchy granola, but I promise you, if you focus on what you are accomplishing, more will come. Okay. I can't get that through hard enough. So, all right, I'm going to see if I can scroll through here and see some questions that you guys might have. Again, be kind. This is my first time live on YouTube. So let's see what we got. So Jennifer Sesbury, you're reading and doing some numerology. Awesome. Which reminds me to tell you guys, if you're sitting around doing nothing, go on over to my website, AnnPerryNumerologist.com. Go into services, click on courses. There's a free course in there. That's Karmic debts and Karmic lessons, all right? Trying to figure that all out. There's also a course on Uncover Your Life Purpose with numerology. That one's on sale. It's only $47. If you want to take advantage of that one, that'll give you a really good idea. That course has never been taught that I'm aware of in the way that I've taught it, because I teach you how to speak numbers in that course, right? There's a whole bunch more courses coming up. But just if you're bored, you want to go and do a free course. The military employers, etc., use at least life paths to choose people. Wow, I would love that. I would love it if the military would use numerology, because there's so much you can learn from it, right? I mean, a lot of people place an awful lot of focus on life path numbers, and the life path number is the first of the 4 core numbers. Okay, we have 4 core numbers. The first being the life path number. That one is the heavy. That's the one that you feel the most intensely. That's the one that's in your face all the time, right? It's the big lesson that you chose before you came. Followed by the expression number, which comes from all of the letters in your birth name. So all the letters in your birth name create what's called the expression number, and that brings in your talent and your gift that you chose to bring with you to support you on your life path. So for example, my life path number is a 7. That's the spiritual teacher, but that's the person who likes to work by themselves. They like time by themselves. They like to meditate. They like all things spiritual, you know, they like to read all day if we could. Need a lot of time alone in nature. But that wouldn't make me a very good spiritual teacher if I didn't have a number to support me. So I chose to come in with the 5 vibration on my name. The 5 likes the limelight. She doesn't mind doing YouTube. She doesn't mind doing, you know, Facebook Lives or TV or radio or whatever, right? I needed a number that would bring me the courage to be able to deliver my message. Okay, so we choose our birth vibration. We don't choose our birth name, but we telepathically send forth a message to whomever names us, and we say, listen, I don't care what you call me, but whatever you call me, make sure it vibrates at the vibration of whatever, from 1 to 9, or a master number. And that will help to support me on my journey. So that's the second of the core numbers, the expression number, followed by the heart's desire number, which is, as it imposes, the heart's desire number is the number that you're most passionate about. And that one comes from the vowels in your birth name. So we've got 4 use at least life paths to choose people. Would be amazing, but there's so much more, right? There's so much more to learn. For example, if we got 2 people in a room that have life path numbers that, you know, a numerologist might say, oh, that's not very compatible. I'm not going to stop just at the life path number. I got to see what the heart's desire numbers are, because if you've got 2 people whose heart's desire numbers are compatible, they have a good chance of making it, because whatever they're passionate about is the same, right? So the life path number is all about the lessons, and each person's got to learn their own independent lessons. But if I look a little bit further into the chart, there's all these moving components, there's all these moving parts that are kind of important. So anyway, good observation though. That would be my dream, Kevin, is that everybody would be tapping into that a little bit more. It'd be awesome. All right, let's see. Did you do 22-4 yet? No, I wasn't really talking life path numbers tonight, Brandon, but I did want to point something out, and I don't want to make this a whole COVID conversation because I think we're like up to here with COVID, right? But I do want to say that I was playing around with the numbers, and some of you may have seen my videos recently that I talked about the word coronavirus vibrates to the vibration of the number 11. What? Okay. That blew my mind, okay, because that's the spiritual messenger. That's illumination. That's, guys, rip off your blinders, take off the blankets, come on out now and take a look, because we want you to the universe is saying, you got to look around. You made a big mess. It's time you cleaned it up, right? That's what's going on. I don't care what the theories are and whatnot. In the nutshell, the Reader's Digest condensed version of this is we made a mess and we now have to clean it up, okay? So Mother Nature had to do something to get our attention. So the word coronavirus vibrates to the vibration of the 11, the spiritual messenger. So does pandemic. The word pandemic vibrates at the 11 as well. Now, when we add coronavirus, pandemic, we add them together, 11 and 11 equals 22. So the 22 is the master builder. Now, what's interesting about the number 22 is that there's 2 2s in the number 22. So the 4 is about building the foundation. The 2 is about doing it together. It's not about you. It's not all about you figuring out how you're going to get through this. It's about how do you and your neighbor get through this? How do you and your partner get through this? How do you and your kids get through this? How do we rebuild? What are we going to refocus on? What will our values be when this is all over? You know, one of the things my husband and I are doing every day is going for a walk. Come hell or high water, he drags me out the door at 4 o'clock and I go for a 4-mile walk. Well, I haven't done that forever, okay? But that's becoming part of my new routine, and it's healthy, right? And it's something we can do because we can get outside, and we live at the edge of the earth, so there's nobody around anyways, right? So it's all good. So how are you going to rebuild your foundation? This 22-4 is very significant, especially when it's happening in 2020, which is a 4 universal year. The 4 says we've got to be building a new foundation. The 2 2s say we've got to be patient. Now, I don't know, you might have seen my video I did last week on the ant, you know, the ant medicine. So today, same thing. It's freaking cold out there, okay? It's like 0 degrees and there's snow on the ground, whatnot. I've got ants crawling across my desk. Now, when it happened last week, I thought, what the hell? Like, why have I got ants? It's freaking cold out there. They shouldn't even be awake yet, right? But I know that the ant is a message around patience, okay? So I thought, all right, well, I wonder what the word patience vibrates at. Yep, it's a 4, right? So like so much coming in. There's no coincidence that's happening. You just got to know how to translate it. That's why I love these words and things that come up, and it's amazing. It's just absolutely amazing when we start thinking about it. Yeah, I could go on and on. Anyway, let's go see. Yes, if you can't go, I love this, Michael T. If you can't go outside, go inwards. Maybe this is a time to do inner work because the world evolves as we all evolve. So true. Such a great point. I love that. Thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely. Lavender flower, life path. Where'd you go? You just bounced away. I think you said your life path 5. Here we go. Life path 5, and I've been feeling inadequate. Remember, Lavender, what we just said a few minutes ago. If you're feeling inadequate, I want you to say, I am choosing to feel inadequate. And when you say I'm choosing to feel inadequate, you'll realize it's not truth. Okay? It's not truth. You can make a different choice. As you believe, so it is. So I encourage you to, at least, I'm not denying that you feel inadequate, but I am saying you have to always happen in real life. Nothing major, really small stuff like seeing someone walk up my driveway. But I don't know how to expand that. And that's it. I'm sorry, Gabby, I don't have the continuation of your message. I'm sorry, I can't go there. But thank you for sharing. Oh, it was really detailed. I told my mom and she said, well, when you were in my womb, the doctor heard you making a weird sound. And in Mexico, they believe that means you were born with empathic gifts. I didn't know that. Cut to 28 years later, and I have been learning a lot on spirituality and numerology. That's awesome. That's really cool. I love that. Thanks for sharing. And Ricardo is focusing on cardology and tarot. This is great, guys. I mean, there's so many courses out there that you can be taking right now to start, to start your way. I've actually, I mentioned that I have some courses available. I failed to mention too that I have the 4-week numerology course, which is really cool because it allows me to work with you for 4 weeks straight. Okay, so every week we get together and we work for 2 hours, and we can work on your chart or someone else's chart or whatever you want to do. But it's all basically teaching you how to delineate a chart and how to speak numbers. And so I've given the times that we're in right now, instead of having to pay for it all at once, you can actually buy it by module now. So again, you can check that out on my website. It's AnnPerryNumerologist.com. I would love to have some of you guys in that. So Gabby, you're an 11. No surprise there, hey? Check out my Facebook group, Master Number 11 portal. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate that. The Karmic deck class, that's great. Oh, you guys, you do good. Thank you. Hey, Irish Calf, good to see you. I hope you're safe in Ireland. So Michael Watley, your expression number is a 4. Okay, so your gift is that you can be organized, that you can be focused, that you are a planner, right? So you can be a really, really good example to people right now using your 4 energy. Show them how a plan is made instead of being all hairy-carry and crazy and too focused on what's going to happen. You know, a lot of us are feeling anxious about what's going on. But when we feel anxiety, it's because we're not living in the moment. I was thinking about this morning, and I thought, you know, I know there's a lot of people there worrying about how are they going to pay their bills next month. Right now, don't worry about tomorrow. Let's just be good in the moment, okay? Well, I don't know if I'm going to have my house, you know, much longer. Have you got your house right now? Yeah. Okay, you're good. In this moment, you're good. Stay there. Stay in the moment. Stop trying to project into the future. The future doesn't exist. You can't touch it. You can't feel it. You can't shake it. You can't do anything with it. There's nothing you can do in the future. It doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is the moment that you're in right now, okay? This is the present moment that you're in right now. This is where you can do something about it, all right? So do whatever you can to stay present. All right. Christina is a 2911 life path. Cool. Christina Parker. Hopefully you found my 2911 video. There is one in there somewhere. Starlight, I'm a 20/2 Gemini in a personal year of 8 this year. Wow. Okay. So next month's going to be a big month then, Starlight Sky, because you're in an 8 personal year with an 8 universal month coming up in a 4 universal year, right? So you can expect good things next month if you will stay on the positive. And that's the whole thing, right? I mean, we're all being challenged. We've got to stay very positively focused on what we're trying to create. Try really hard not to fall into what I haven't got or what I haven't accomplished or where I'm stuck or whatever. Keep your focus on where you're going rather than how stuck you might feel. Gabby, how do you find your name number? Okay, so go to my website, AnnPerryNumerologist.com. Go to resources. There's a whole article in there on how to figure out your expression number. Okay, it'll tell you exactly how to do it step by step. I think there's a video in there too, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's see where else we're going here. Michael T, interesting insight on the ants. What does it mean if you see grasshoppers? I've been having encounters with a lot of them. You know what? I don't know. Just a second. Let me think for a second. I think I can tell you. Just a sec. I like to resort. I know they annoy the hell out of me in my garden because they eat everything. No, it's not coming up here. But I would encourage you to look up, Michael, look up the spiritual meaning of the grasshopper. Look for a book called Animal Speak. I think you'll find it in there. I'm quite sure that that's where it is. So it's probably asking you to aim higher or something. I don't know. Not really sure, but I would be interested in learning about that. Life Path 11, awesome, great. So Starlight Sky is saying her isolation is nature, never as relaxed and happy in my life. Don't feed into fears, as that lowers the vibration, keeping positive and nature so beautiful. You know, this morning I made a decision that I cannot turn on CBC News on my iPad in the morning, which had become a little bit of a habit of mine. Not doing it anymore. I'm actually going to find inspirational videos. Go into YouTube, type in inspirational videos, whatever you have to do. A lot of Wayne Dyer stuff is really helpful. I love his quotation that he said, change, if you want to change the world, you've got to, how did he say that? Oh my God, I lost it. I've been saying it all day. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Okay, so that's challenging you to open your minds a little bit. There's a lot of stuff that's going on that's kind of scary right now, but if we change the way we look at it, if we look at the lesson in it, if we look at the gift in it, if we look at the opportunity to pause, I mean, Starlight Sky is talking about, you know, staying out in nature, connecting to nature. When was the last time you had the opportunity to go out there and really appreciate nature, right? If you're anything like me, you're go, work all the time. And this little bit of downtime has been a little bit weird for me, honestly, but it's okay. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. So Michelle Dinwiddie, I was born on January 11th. Does that make me an 11? Theoretically, you're not supposed to call yourself a master number 11, okay? Because that is kind of a phrase that is reserved for those who are life path number 11s in their life path numbers, right? But you will feel like an 11. You will identify with the 11. I would encourage you to look up my Facebook group, the Master Number 11 portal. Great supportive group of people in there. I will say that anybody who is born on the 11th or has an 11 life path number or whatever, you guys, you need your tribe, okay? Can't say that enough. You guys need your tribe. You need to know that there are people out there that you can express yourselves to. You can say, hey, there was an alien sitting on my bed last night, and people are going to go, oh, really? Tell me about that. They're not going to shun you. They're not going to go, you're crazy, nothing, okay? So my group is, I'm sure there's many groups out there too, but I can only speak for mine, but I know it's a very, very supportive place. There's also the Master Number 11 membership too, masternumber11.com. You can check that out as well. It's a pretty great spot to hang out. And there is a video that I have, what's it mean to be born on the 11th day, so you can check that out too for a little bit of help. So Larica, does the Master Number 11 only apply to Life Path 11, or does it apply to Soul Urge Destiny? I'm a Life Path 3, but have 11 for both Soul and Expression Number. Oh yeah, absolutely. The Master Number 11 definitely exists in your chart, no question, and you will definitely feel the resonance of the 11. You know, your vibration is up here. Everybody else, how do I connect with these people down here without losing myself? Now, many 11s will pop on this mask of conformity, and they have a tendency to kind of they'll put on this mask of conformity to fit in, to be who they think everybody wants them to be, rather than who they need to be. Okay, so that's the risk that runs in with the 11s, and you'll definitely feel that. There's no question, right? But there's lots of help out there. That's why I do what I do. This is going totally off track, guys. I'm just answering your questions. So I hope that's okay. This is supposed to be all about what's coming up next month. Anyway, you're welcome, Michael. Yeah, the master number oops, where'd you go? Law Rec, master number group. Yes, so the Facebook group is called the Master Number 11 Portal. Okay, and the membership group is Master Number. Those letters were written out, Master Number, and the number 11.com. So you can check that out as well. I think I'm feeling stuck. Okay, next is feeling stuck. That's a choice. Okay, if you're feeling stuck, I'm choosing to feel stuck. I promise you, it will open the door for you. As soon as you start saying, I'm choosing to feel stuck, you'll start going, wow, yeah, that's right. I am making that choice to feel stuck. And you'll find different avenues to get you out of that. So feeling stuck is always a choice. And you know what? I get it. This is a year, 2020 is a 4 universal year. It causes us all to feel a little bit stuck. Okay, it does cause us all to feel a little bit stuck, but we're better than that. And you know better than that now. You know that the opportunity to focus is there. So focus on what you want. Focus what you have accomplished, right? Not on what you have yet to do. That's the easiest way to get stuck. Meg Slaymaker. Hey, Meg. Hey, Ann, nice to catch you live. You were the first channel I found that I really loved about numerology. I discovered I was a Life Path 11, and then I looked it up in YouTube and discovered you. Awesome. Hugs come back out to you. That's great. Great to hear. So Gabby is saying that she has just discovered that her spirit animal is an elephant. So that'd be really cool for all of us to go and discover what is our spirit animal. And, you know, quite often, if you just go and get, there's a set of cards that you can get. I mean, these ones in particular, I love the medicine cards. This is by Jamie Sams and David Carson. It's a really great book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on abebooks.com secondhand, really cheap. But they come with really good cards in there, so it'll help you to figure out who your spirit animal is and who's kind of watching out for you. Animal Speak, yeah, by Ted Andrews is a great book. Okay. Martian Noel, I'm an 11 life path, Libra, and feeling really stuck. How do I take advantage of this time? Well, everybody, maybe this will help you to feel a little bit better, Martian. Everybody has been feeling a little bit trapped this past month, without, even without all the pandemic crap going on. We've all been feeling a bit stuck because we've all been in. Let's rethink that, shall we? And it causes you to second guess things all the time, right? Because you're in your head. No good decision was ever made out of here, guys. The good decisions are made from your heart, not your head. Okay, so this past month, I would have been encouraging you guys to try to declare what you're feeling rather than what you're thinking. Okay, so when we say, I think, your brain kicks in and goes, oh, she wants to think something. And then we come up with this idea that we're thinking. Now, when we go and say, I think, or I feel, the heart center, the energy of the heart center kicks in. And then it causes you to go to your heart center, and it causes you to make better decisions. You can't make good decisions from your head. I would never encourage anybody to make a big decision under a 7 influence. So this has been this past March has been a 7 universal month that has caused all of us to second guess things. It's causing all of us to feel a little bit insecure. But it's causing us to go inward. It's causing us to tap in. It's causing you than yourself, because otherwise you feel really lost. The 7 energy has been asking us to trust and to surrender. Okay. Now remember, the card that came up for all you guys was the card called acceptance. Accept the things that you can't change, right? So taking advantage of this time, Marcian, I would say that getting focused on what you want, taking baby steps to get there. I get it. If you're not employed right now or whatever, that's a little bit tough, but there are things that you can do. There are things that you can accomplish. I've been encouraging people to reach out to other people. Think about, this is a challenge for you guys. Think about one person that you know who's living by themselves right now. How hard can that, that's got to be very, very difficult to be living by yourself in isolation right now. Okay. Think about that one friend or that person that you know, or that relative or whatever. Give them a call, like dementia. And she is there 24 hours a day with a man who can't speak. Like, I can't even imagine. So I call her every day, give her somebody to talk to. Okay, so Rita, hey Rita, I've seen you online before. So your life path number. So we got March 29th of 1953. Okay, here's a quick numerology lesson for y'all. So what you're going to do is you're going to break it down piece by piece. Okay, so March is the 3rd month. Leave it alone. It's a 3. 29th day. I gotta do this on paper. 1953. So 29th day, we're going to add 2 and 9 together. Comes to 11. Bring the 11 down. Okay, so now we have 3 plus 11. 1953, 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 3 is 18, and 1 and 8 is 9. So now you're going to add 3 plus 11 plus 9 comes to 23. So you are what we call a 23-5 life path number. That means that we're not going to call you just a 5 because you're a 23-5. It's really important. You could have been a 14-5. You could have been a 32-5. You know, you could have been a 50/5. You're not. You're a 23-5. That means that you're here to learn 2 sub-lessons. Be the very best 5 you can be. All right. So that's what I mean. You know, when I teach my numerology course, Uncover Your Life Purpose with Numerology on my website, you can check that out. I teach people how to actually interpret their birth numbers, the composite birth number. So you have what's called a composite birth number. 23/5 is a composite birth number. You know, your numbers didn't add up to just 5, you know, they added up to 23/5. So composite is the 2 and the 3 being the sub lessons. What are they about? So I can be the best 5 I can be. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay. It's so hard for me to find love, romantic love. That's it. Lots of love. Any tips on how to overcome that? Okay, so I have a whole series, KG, on my YouTube channel, talking about what it would be like to be in love with a various life path numbers. So an 11 with a 5 life path number, or an 11 with a 2 life path number, that sort of thing. So you can check it out. I've got a whole series of videos in there, which might be helpful a little bit. So I'm also 3811 until your videos, and I'm now a 20/2. I get confused on this with master number 11. Okay, so all right, I'm going to put it out there in the blog. There's a lot of confusion about how to calculate your life path number. I personally believe that the correct way to do it is to break it down independently. Now, Rita Ikeda, her date of birth is a case in point. She was born on the 29th day. When we add 2 and 9 together, it comes to 11. So that means that she has a master number as one of her core numbers. If we just take that date of birth and just add all the numbers straight across, we've ignored the fact she was born on the 29th. That's a core number, right? That's a big ass number. She's going to feel that, right? Although her life path number is a 23/5, I know she feels like an 11 because she was born on the 11th day. Okay. So I can't prove that I'm right. I know my video says it's the correct way to do it, and I believe that it is the correct way to do it. But I'm also open to the fact that if your life path number comes up as a 20/2, after adding it all up the way I'm suggesting that you do, but you still feel like you're an 11, go with the 11. It's not about me being right. It's about you connecting and saying, this feels right to me, okay? I'm just impressed that you're interested in numerology and interested in taking that far and learning what your life path number is. So at the end of the day, an 11 is also a 2. So whether you're a 20/2 or whether you're an 11, at the end of the day, you're still a 2. So you're going to feel a similarity there, but I totally appreciate the confusion that Starlight Sky is feeling between being a 20/2 and being an 11, or being a 3811. There is a video that helps a little bit. Merlin Bell is in Alberta. Yay, another fellow Canuck. I'm hoping that you're staying well out there and warm. Oh my God, why do you guys live there again? Sorry, my son lives out there. I can't help but poke fun. It's cold. So Lizzie, you're using that book and the cards. Awesome, that's great. So good for you, Jessica Mitchell. She says she's a stay-at-home mom and she's got a life path number of 5. You know what? Good thing you are a Capricorn, so you're a little bit more grounded. And I know nothing about numerology or astrology. Don't even ask me about questions about astrology because I don't know anything. But I do know that Capricorns are very grounded. So that's going to help you because the 5 says, I like my freedom and I want to come and go as I please. So I'm tipping my hat to you, girlfriend, that you were staying home with your kids and during all this, because that's got to be a little bit rough. A lot of 11s here. Yes, you're right, Gabby. I have a tendency to attract 11s. Can't help it. Oh, you're welcome, Martian. Gary's saying it's not so bad living alone. Awesome. Once again, as you believe, so it is. That's fantastic. I love that. Oh, Carolyn, I'm sorry about your loss of your mom. She says she's living by herself. She was taking care of her mom who had dementia, and she passed in February. I'm a life path number 9. So I know that that's rough for you because you're the caregiver, right? You would have done anything you could have to fix her. But unfortunately, everybody has their time eventually. But my heart goes out to you. I've kind of been there, so I know what that's all about. So Michelle says, I'm so glad that you do the dates the same as I do. Yeah, as I say, I can't prove I'm right. I just know that for me, if I were to add my date of birth straight across, I come up as a 34-7. That would give me a sub-lesson of 3. Clearly, I have no trouble communicating, right? Shut me up might be a bigger issue, okay? But an issue with communication has never been a problem for me. So that's why I tend to go with the theory that Matthew Oliver Goodwin was the one that taught that theory. His book, he only wrote 2 books before he died. This is one of them. This is the one I use. It's kind of beat up, but anyway, Numerology, the Complete Guide. This is volume 1. There's a volume 2 as well. So I believe he's the guru. There's lots of other gurus out there, but I particularly like his work. So that's the work I follow. And he's the one that taught us how to break them down separately so that we can acknowledge the date of birth, which is really important. Oh, I'm glad you're joining us, some old soul 11, assuming that you're an 11, I guess. Shout out to 8 Life Paths. Yep, that's a good one. Okay, so Meg says her birthday is March the 5th of 1992. My number adds up only to 11. If it's only 11, what does that mean? It's not 3811 or 2911, just an 11. Well, in my books, Meg, that means to me that you're an older soul. You've already learned the lessons of the 3 and the 8, the 2 and the 9, and so on, and 4 and 7. So you're here just to work on the 11. So your sub lessons relate to the double ones. Okay, so the double ones are all about double creativity, double authenticity, double originality, double the need to be a leader, double the need to be independent and confident. Okay. It's a tough job you signed up for, but anyway, I know you're up for the challenge because they wouldn't have given you the opportunity if you weren't. So 29, yeah. So I hope that'll make a little bit more sense to you. I'm master number 11. So let's see here. T. Brown, born on May 29th of 1984. So 1984, we add that together, that comes to 22. Sorry, guys, I work things backwards at times. And then we've got 29, we're going to break that down to an 11. Okay, so now we have 22, 11, and 5. 22, 11, 33, and 5, 38. Yeah, so you're 38, 11. That's correct. So your sub-lessons are related to the 3 and the 8, so you can be the best 11 you can be. So the 3 is all about learning how to express yourself in a sensitive way, learning how to use your creative expression in a positive way that will inspire other people. The 8 is learning how to master your power, learning how to work with money, learning how to be a really good manifester so you can be the best 11 you can be. So it's okay. So there's different things we can look at. So I've got some old soul 11 asking, he's a 44-8 life path. Can you post me your? I'm not going to say you're not a 44-8, but I'd love to see your date of birth because I'm wondering possibly have you added all the numbers straight across to come up with that? That's my intuitive guess. Is that might be what's going on. So yes, we can tell a little bit of what's going on from just a date of birth. But there's another component. I can't even imagine not knowing what essence I was in. So let's say, for example, you're in a year of 5 and I'm in a year of 5. Okay, so a 5 is all about our freedom, unexpected events. Didn't see that coming moments, it's shake it up, get different, I'm going to get bored otherwise. So a 5 is a 5 is a 5. It's the same for me as it is for you, as it is for your uncle. Okay, but you're going to go through your personal year of 5 very differently than I am because your name on your birth certificate is different than mine, and that creates what's called an essence. Okay, now many astrologers believe that the personal year begins on your birthday. I disagree. I believe that the personal year begins January 1st and ends December 31st. What does, however, begin on your birthday is your essence. So think of the essence as the color that we're now going to infuse into an otherwise black and white template. Okay, so the black and white template is the 5 personal year, or whatever your personal year is. It's the same for everybody, right? 3, 5, 7, doesn't matter. It's the same for everybody. But your name will tell me how is that person going to go through their personal year. Okay, so in my particular case, I'm in a 5 personal year, which is all about change, but my essence is a 6. So the 6 can be an unexpected, it's related to the home and the family. It could be an unexpected event that happens in my family. It could be an unexpected event that happens in my house. It could be a flood, you know, it could be a fire, it could be all kinds of things. But typically the 5 is about the unexpected and the 6 is about the family. Maybe there's a grandchild coming, who knows, right? That would be shocking. Let's not go there. But anyway, you get the idea. So the essence tells me how you're going to go through it. So in answer to your question, Soul Soul 11, asking if it's going to get any smoother in this lifetime. If I was to look at your full chart, I could give you a pretty good idea as to how things are going to roll out. Okay. What I do, guys, when I do a reading for anybody, I have a tendency, I always back your chart up at least by 1 year. Okay. And I do that so that you can review a year you've already gone through. That way you can look at that and go, yeah, it's exactly how I was feeling. And then it helps to validate the next 2 years. Because I always cover, in this case, 2019, 2020, 2021. So if you're kind of curious to know what the heck's going on, that's how I do it. So we talk a lot about that. There's also long-term cycles as well. Some Old Soul 11, you might want to know this. There are 2 long-term cycles. One's called a pinnacle and one's called a life path period. Depending on the age that we're at, will depend upon how long this goes for. But as we start getting up in years, they end. They get to a point where they say, okay, this is what it is, and this is what you're going to have until the end of your life. So it gives you kind of like a bird's eye view of what's going on in the background. Okay, it's like a computer program that kind of runs on the background. Let's see. 24+7. I have to take the meaning of each of the composite numbers. Okay, so composite number, Grateful Hilda. Oh, she bounced out of there. I don't know where you went. Oh, here we go. Okay, so composite numbers do not apply to the names. They only apply to life path numbers. Okay, so unless your name comes up as a karmic debt number, which would be 13, 14, 16, or 19, okay, then that would apply. But typically, when you're trying to figure out your expression number, which comes from your full name on your birth certificate, you're going to reduce that to a single digit or a master number or a karmic debt number. Okay, so we don't call it like a 23-5 or whatever for the expression number. We don't observe composite numbers with the names. It's just with the dates of birth. Carolyn, you're so welcome. Okay, so Sandy Harding, my son's born on November 22nd, 1986. Life is not easy for him. Not many friends. Great worker, compassionate. Please give some advice. All right, so he's in a, let's see, just a second. 2, 4, 6, 10. He's in a 1 personal year, Sandy. He needs to know that. This is a year of new beginnings for him, new opportunities. We only see a 1 personal year once in a 9-year cycle. So it's go time, right? He wants to plant some serious seeds this year. He wants to really put his best foot forward. Anything he plants this year will be nurtured and will be manifesting over the next 9 years. So we want to plant seeds in the year of 1. See, the universe will throw us forward 1 year and roll us back the next. Okay, so a year of 1 would be a year where everybody's lots of energy, right? Moving forward really fast. The universe gives us, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical energy to get the job done. The personal year begins January 1st, and by the time we get to about September or October, our personal year is almost, we're not feeling it as much, okay? So the energy of the next year, in the case of your son, as he comes into September, October, he's going to start running out of steam, okay? Because the 2 energy is going to start coming up over that threshold. He's going to start feeling that shift into the 2 energy, which is a rest period. He wants to sort of just take care of whatever he started in his year of 1. When he gets into his year of 2, he's just kind of nurturing that. So naturally, the universe is going to pull the energy away from him, so he's not going to feel nearly as ambitious. So the best thing you can do for him is to encourage him to put his best foot forward this year, do the very best he can. Let me just take a look at one other thing here. 1 and 9 is 10, 18, 24, that's 6. All right, so he's a 12-3. lacks a lot of self-esteem. He beats himself up. He's got very high standards for himself, very self-critical. So whatever you can do to help him see the half full cup rather than the half empty cup is the best thing you could possibly do for him. He struggles, and you say he doesn't have a lot of friends and whatnot, but he really struggles with where does he fit. He's a 12-3. Sub-lessons, 1, 2, main lesson, 3. The 1 is, do I want to be by myself? Do I want to be independent all by myself? 2 says, do I want to be in a relationship, one-on-one? 3 says, do I really want to be in a social thing? So if someone calls him on a Friday night and says, do you want to go out? He's like, oh, I don't really know. Right? I'm really not sure how I feel. So he gets a little bit torn with all that, right? So he's very, very sensitive, very, very, very intuitive, very much a very old soul. I'd love to look at his chart sometime. He's quite interesting, for sure. Anyway, I can see he's very compassionate. There's no question. I can see his work ethic is solid. You know, he's really solid that way. So I hope that helps. Who was the author of the Numerology Complete Guide? That is Matthew Oliver Goodwin. See that there? Matthew Oliver Goodwin. This is a tough book to get sometimes. I picked it up off of abebooks.com, abebooks.com. It's a secondhand bookstore, and it was beaten up, but they told me it would be. So, but I was grateful to get it because it was out of print. So Matthew's been dead for several years, so it's hard to get his stuff now. His second volume is easier to get than the first, but it's really good. If you're serious about numerology, in my opinion, it's probably one of the best books ever. Okay. Shift into high. So are we 11s or 2s, or does it matter? Okay, so if your life path number is an 11, you are both an 11 and a 2. Okay, so the sub lessons again, double ones. Okay, double need to be all that. So you're balancing that masculine energy. The double one energy is that masculine energy. So 11 sometimes struggle with how far can I push my ambitions and my assertiveness and my leadership and whatnot before people reject me? Because at the end of the day, I'm a 2. And the 2 says, I like partnership. I like to be in a relationship. Double one says, I want to do it all myself. But the 2 at the end of the day says, yeah, but I kind of like to have a partner too. So you guys are always doing this all the time, right? So shift into high. Check out my Facebook group, Master Number. I'm getting tired. Master Number 11 Portal. Check that out. You'll get a lot of support in there for sure. Oops. Okay, I'm going to look at a couple more before I let you guys go. Let's see here. So you're a 22-4 expression number. That's cool, Meg. Awesome. Oh, Owl Girl. Hi, Owl Girl. I've seen you on the channel before. Is the 9 number considered the most aggressive or angry? No, I wouldn't say so at all. If anything, I would think they can be very frustrated because they see the world in a way, like they have a way of, they're visionaries, right? They see the world for what it could be, and they get really frustrated when it isn't that way. They're very serious givers. Like the 9s are very compassionate people. They're very loving people, very empathic. They feel things. So yeah, I can see where a 9 could have an anger issue if they're really frustrated, but that would be something more that come from maybe an 8 vibration, because the 8s are far more assertive, far more, they want to be the managers. They want to be in control. The 8 has a bit of control issues at times. Fantastic manifestors. I mean, everybody, there's a positive side and a negative side to each number. I mean, none of us are exempt from the bad sides of our numbers, right? So we have it all. So I definitely would not consider the 9 to be the most aggressive or angry number by a long shot. Classic Girl 7, I'm a little lost. Welcome to my world. So you were born in March. I'm lost too. March 17th, 1977. It's 9 equals 10 plus 7 equals 17 plus another 7 equals 24, and 2 and 4 are 6. Now you're going to add 3 plus 8 plus 6 equals 17. So you are what we call a 17-8 life path number. That means your sub-lessons are the 1 and the 7, so you can be the best 8 that you can be. Hopefully that helps. There is a kind of a cool video, if I do say so myself. It's called Why is the number 8 life path number so challenging? You might want to check that one out for sure. That'll give you a whole different light on what the 8's all about. Okay, Dia Mula, August, I'm assuming August is 2nd because she didn't write it. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. 8 and 2, 1990. So 1 and 9 is 10, 19, that's 1. You are an 11. Yep, you're an 11 life path number. That's correct. Okay, Jacqueline Blanchard, nice to see you here. So we've got August the 2nd, 1990. So 1990, 1 and 9 is 10, 19. 1 and 9 is 10 and 1. So that's a 1, 8, 2, and yep, you're an 11. Your life path number is an 11. Hey, Raj. Haven't seen you forever. Hoping all life is good. Wait, Suli, you, oh yes, okay. And plus 9 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 4 is 22. So we know that 1984 is a 22 year. So we're going to leave it as 22. And you were born on February the 3rd. So 2 plus 5 plus 22. 2 and 5 and 22. 22, 5 is 27, 20, 29, 11. So you know that you're an 11 because you were in, I remember you were in my Master Number 11 membership. And we've got 2 and 5. Here is, guys, you're going to take your month, your day, and add it to the number 4. So we have, in your particular case, you are in an 11 personal year, an 11-2 personal year. So that's going to be a lot of sensitivity, a lot of intuition, bigger need for partnership. Don't really feel like going out, doing too much. Kind of feel like hanging out with just one-on-one, quiet, intimate kind of relationships. This is about nurturing what you started last year. You're not going to have the same energy you had last year. The 2 is about being patient and letting things just kind of roll out the way they need to. Trusting in the process this year. That's the whole thing this year, or this month, guys, or through this whole pandemic. I mean, I hate saying that word out loud, but really the reality is we all have to be very patient and just trust that it's rolling out exactly as it's intended. And I want you to be really consciously aware of the gifts that are coming from it, because there are many, many gifts for, right? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Most of us have bills, and then, okay, whoops, where do we go? Sorry, the feed is going up so fast. I'm missing some of you. Honestly, Mark from Lebanon, I'm really sorry. I don't know how to do that. I do not know how to translate that. How to calculate the letters. I wish I did. Somebody, GJ Comedy, love your work, and Life Path 7. Yay, we rock, don't we? Born on November 11, 1992. Attitude number is 22-4. Does that mean I'm a master thinker? As you believe, so it is. Right? If you think you're a master thinker, I think you are too. I love it. Read like 5 numerology books. Love numbers. Good for you. I love that too. So yeah, the 22-4 is it's a heavy duty number, right? The one thing you got to remember about that GJ Comedy is when you're looking at the 22, remind yourself you don't have to do this alone. Whatever it is you feel you need to 11, add it together, it's 22-4. That's all about the global approach, about everybody helping each other out for a solution. We're all having to do our part to self-isolate so that we are all safe. It's not just about us being safe, it's about doing the right thing so everybody else is safe. So it's a focus more on one-on-one. So this is a 4 universal year, right? So it's about, revisiting our plans and looking at things a little differently. But in response to yourself, that need, I know you've got this feeling within you that you're supposed to be doing something bigger than what you are doing. That's very common for the 22-4. But the double 2 says, I need to find other people to engage with me in my vision so I can accomplish this. Okay, so I'm not meant to do it by myself. I'm meant to do this with collaboration. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so Zain Hussein, born on May 22nd, 1997. 1, 9, 10, 19, 26, 8, 30, 35, 8, right? You're right. Your life path number is a 35, 8. You're saying that you're having a hard time. 8 says I'm the manifestor. I want to do things. But the sub-lessons to the left of that, the 3 and the 5, the 3 says I lack focus, and the 5 says I'm lacking in discipline. Okay, so just knowing those 2 things are 2 things that you can work on, right? Work on your focus. Don't make things too pie in the sky. Make them manageable. Set yourself small tasks. Make lists, right? I find lists are so powerful. You make a little list every day of things that you want to accomplish and check it off every time you complete it, and don't go to bed until they're all checked off, okay? that really, really helps me out quite a bit too, because I struggle with focus sometimes as well. But the 5, the 3 and the 5, those are quite scattered energies to the left of that 8. So you really have to work very hard at recognizing when opportunities come your way, which one is within your best interest. Which do I need to focus on for my best benefit down the road? Okay, just a couple more, guys. Okay, so Kathy Corbin, good to see you again. I'm a 2 life path in an 8 year. What can I expect in my 8 year? Will this 8 year be a challenge for me? You know what? I love this combination. People who are in a life path, or pardon me, personal year of 8 in a 4 universal year. Man, you guys can manifest something really serious this year. Put your best foot forward and just, again, step by step. That's the whole thing right now. This huge 4 influence that we're under with the universal year of 2020 is asking us to develop a step-by-step approach. This lineup that you're in, an 8 personal year with the 4 universal year, I don't know what your essence is. I haven't looked at your chart, but it's probably a lineup that's not going to come around anytime soon again. Okay, so I want you to be really sure that you're taking advantage of it. It is a good lineup. It's an excellent lineup. You are a 2, so you have to be very patient. The 8 says, I got to manifest something now, and you feel it, right? But the 2 says you've got to be very, very patient. So, okay. Shift into high says she joined the master number 11 on Facebook. So anyway, guys, I am going to call it a day because we've been on here over an hour. This is only supposed to be like 20 minutes or so, but you guys like to talk, so apparently I do too. Any questions or whatever, post them down below. I'm happy to try and answer what I can. I just want you to know that I know that this past month has been really, really rocky for many of us. It's been we're all in our heads. We're having a hard time deciphering it all. But I promise you, when we go into the month of April, the energy is going to lighten up a little bit. And someone checking out how many COVID cases are tested positive today or whatever. Don't go there, right? Someone else is taking care of that. You don't need to know that. That's not serving you well. Ask, when you engage in things in social media or you're watching TV or whatever, is this going to raise your vibration or lower it? Okay, so that's what you need to really focus on next month is what do I need to do to raise my vibration? I can tell you what you shouldn't be doing, right? Don't be engaging in the news. Don't be hanging around negative people. Be the leaders. Like the fact that you guys are even here tonight, spending this much time with me tonight, tells me you're leaders and you want to make a difference and you want to make a change. And I'm just really proud to be part of this circle with you because, we can lead by example and we can make a difference. So as we believe, so it is. If you think life is tough, it's going to be tough. If you think we can get through this, we're going to get through this, right? Look at everything as a gift. Look at everything as an opportunity. Whenever we show gratitude for an obstacle, it shrinks, okay? You can't be grateful for an obstacle for long. It shrinks. So that's my advice for you today. So thanks, guys. I'm going to go and figure out how to turn this thing off. As I said, this is my very first YouTube Live, so I'm really grateful that you stuck it out there with me. I appreciate you being here. Again, if you've got any questions, post them down below. I hope to see some of you in my Facebook groups. I also have a general Facebook group for everybody else who's not in 11. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. It was fun. Take care. Stay safe. Stay well. Bye for now.